Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome back to the 10-Minute Mailbag. I do declare it as a fan favorite series on the channel. This is the series where I take your question. My chair is spinning on its own. We're just going to let it keep going. I take your questions from YouTube and Discord, still going, and I answer them. So by the time I'm done speaking, I'll be facing this way. I'm not doing this myself. It's just doing it. And yeah, all right. Bye now. Let's get to the video. It hit my desk. We stopped. This is it. I'm at my limit. That's what happens when you sit cross-legged at your desk chair. I now have a pivot foot on the ground, so I cannot move anywhere, and we can avoid fun instances like that again. But really quickly, before we get into this, a little announcement. New partnership on the channel with W Energy. W Energy kicks butt. Use coupon code kdjTV for a discount. Nice little discount. Also helps your boy out. W Energy, no artificial colorings, no artificial sweeteners. Tastes real great. This was the mystery flavor. This is the mystery flavor. It tastes awesome. It ain't a mystery to me. I'm a big fan. Also got this super duper cool green shaker. You guys know green is my favorite color based on lots of stuff, including the channel's branding. So if you're looking for a new energy to try, W Energy, KDJTV, 10% off with a coupon code. But to the content, the mailbag. I have your questions from YouTube and Discord. We're ready to go. We're ready to rock. Big week this week. Spotlight program and player of the month. Weekend classic. Third inning. A whole bunch of crap comes out. Let's get to it, okay? I hit a button that I didn't intend to. 3, 2, 1, begin. First question from Christopher Palmero. Relation to Raphael? Question mark. Would you recommend buying all of the Spotlight cards now before the monthly cards drop, even if you don't have live series yet? So, it's Monday now when you guys are watching this, so obviously it's coming out tomorrow. This question was asked a little bit later last week. One of two things is going to happen when the player of the month drops. It is partially tied to who the player of the month ends up being, or the retro player of the month ends up being, I should say. But I also think it's tied to how they operate the program and how you have to get them. So, the first thing that could happen. The card is incredibly juicy, spicy, and everybody wants to get them. And these prices will go up. They're already pretty high. Taylor Ward, buy now is $42K. Hunter Green, Jesus, 67. Wow. Cal Raleigh, 57. Tyler Mahle, 26. Chris Boobies, 28. Tyler Soderstrom, 38. Nick Pavetta, 25. Tommy Edman, 35-ish. So already quite pricey. Like, that's pricey. That's legit pricey. If you sold all of those, you'd have enough stubs to buy Aaron Judge at $300K. Probably. Rough maths in my head. You might be a little short, but you know what I mean. The other thing, and you need to buy 2 more, by the way, when 2 more come out on Tuesday. The other thing that could happen, I don't know if this will happen, these prices might actually come down a little bit if within the program path to get the Retro Lightning, they give us another Spotlight pack from a previous week that randomly draws you one of these cards. I don't think that's an impossible thing to happen. Will it? I don't know. But I would not be stunned if it was there. That would be a nice touch. It would be a very nice quality of life touch. It would make it a little more attainable, bring these prices to a manageable level. They're never going to be cheap, at least not right now, but manageable is key. Getting back to your point, would you recommend buying all the Spotlight cards now before the monthly awards card drops, even if I don't have live series yet? I think I'd still go after live series, man. I mean, there's so much value in getting the live series collection done or close, depending on which way you're taking it. AL first, NL first. You go AL first, you get Roger Clemens, who's the best pitcher in the game, plus you get the best reliever in the game, and one of the top second basemen, plus a bench bat. If you finish National League first, you're getting the best first baseman in the game, a top 3 catcher, a top 3 starter, top 4 starter, and then a top 5 third baseman. There is so much value here. Or if you're going for the whole kit and caboodle, you're getting the best player in the game, the best card in the game. I do not think this Retro Lightning card is going to be anything more than like a 93. That might even be too high, maybe 92. Chase cards right now are what? Are they 92? Is that what Jordan was? Jordan's at 92. So the Retro Lightning might be 92, 93. I would just go after live series. And that's not me downplaying these cards. These cards aren't great. Like, Edman is useful, Hunter Green's okay, Raleigh is fine. they're not great, but I'm hoping this Retro Lightning card is really, really good. I'd still go after Live Series first. I've said this many times. Finishing Live Series is what unlocks the rest of the game for you. It's what gives you options. So that's where I'd go. But next question is on a similar topic here, and maybe even contradictory to what we just said, but hear me out. Ashley Ray from the Discord. Ashley, shout out to you for always being a great, uplifting member of the Discord. Her question, with the way stubs have been nerfed in mini seasons and Road to the Show, the movement of a majority of these monthly cards that we're looking at right now to packs, and given the current price of the collection, meaning the Live Series collection, Shohei is like 600K and Judge is 300K. Yikes. Do you think it'd be a good idea to kind of give up on Beltran and Roland for offline players like Ashley and revisit them later in the year? Unless you want to flip obsessively, which she does not. I would never recommend giving up on Live Series. I think when you have stubs available to you, you should allot them towards finishing the Live Series. It's going to make the grind of finishing your God Squad a little longer, at least feeling like interested in your God Squad longer, but I think there's a give and take you can do. It, like, from your vantage point, what I'm understanding, you are more in favor of passively finishing something. You don't need to grind it like a lunatic, which is probably healthier for your well-being. So good for you for that. I would do a little this, do a little that. Go after some Live Series, but hey, I also really like this new headliner. Let's buy the headliner. There's nothing wrong with doing that if you are not trying to be a super competitive online player, or you're not necessarily chasing, like Beltran maybe isn't your favorite player of all time. So I think I'm always going to say do Live Series first. Always. My stance on that will not change. But if competing against other human beings is not necessarily your number one priority, or if you just enjoy playing the game and using cards you like to use, I think in that instance, it is okay. It is fine. Obviously, play the way you guys want to play anyway. It's your prerogative. Don't let me dictate how you play the game. I'm only here to offer my advice and my tips and my opinion. But with the way you're going about things, passively doing Roland will actually probably be easier than passively doing Beltran, because cards are just thrown into this game every week, sometimes multiple times a week. You might, in that way, finish Roland first, just because it might require less of a stub investment. I think if you do it passively, you can get Beltran done by the All-Star break. Good pull or two might help you. But I don't like the word give up. I know where you're coming from by saying the word give up. I would just say do a little 50-50 action. Every time you buy a big Live Series card that you've been trying to get, then go buy a card you really want to use on your God Squad. Kind of the give and take, the back and forth. But that's what I would do. So Ashley, thank you for your question. Appreciate it. Last question today comes from Danny. I almost dropped my controller. I wanted to know your thoughts on SDS making the PCI bigger for GOAT difficulty. I know SDS had mentioned that they had it there for a reason, to make it harder, but now they changed it. Just want to know your thoughts. So there was a really good conversation that happened in the Discord with this question, basically saying something to the effect of high-level, top-ranked, GOAT-level players had been complaining for years to get something harder, and then they got something harder, and now they don't like it because they're not scoring 20 runs. I think that's oversimplifying the issue. I'm not saying you're necessarily fully incorrect. I do think it's oversimplifying. I think the GOAT PCI at its base size is not necessarily the issue, or was it necessarily the issue? I think across the board, all difficulties, not just GOAT, slider or breaking ball PCI shrinkage is stupid. That goes all the way from rookie to GOAT. Making that change, to me, makes sense. SDS has said now that this was an intentional thing they did by making the PCI smaller on breaking balls. There may have been some legitimacy in their heads and thought processes to doing that. It is very hard to hit a slider, especially from a same-handed pitcher. Sure, I am not trust me. I've been one of the last at-bats of my college career. I played club baseball. Not trying to say I'm a Division I athlete, but I played club baseball. One of the very last at-bats in my career was in a regional playoff game. I'm a left-handed batter against a lefty who threw one of the nastiest sliders I've ever faced, and let me tell you, it stunk. It was not fun to face. That is a real-world application of that. But maybe what was a potential oversight, or something they just deemed to not be a priority, or not be a hindrance, or a drawback, or a big enough drawback to them, was that people will sit there and spam same-handed slider, 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 slider over and over and over again. Because not only does it give them a competitive advantage, it almost is like a, not a bug, it's not a glitch, it's not technically an exploit, but like, you are exploiting a game mechanic, sort of. Not in, you know what I'm trying to say. It's not like in the, oh my god, they're doing something wrong camp, but you are exploiting a game mechanic that gives you an advantage over and over and over again. And so that may have been an unintended consequence of doing that. I don't like that. I don't think we should be able to spam anything. That goes for sinkers inside too. I'm not a fan of the let's just spam sinkers inside meta, though Ambush kind of has eliminated that a little bit. I am okay with removing PCI shrinkage. I do think the GOAT PCI should be the GOAT PCI. But the GOAT PCI plus shrinkage makes it impossible to hit the ball. So, I am okay with the change. They listened to feedback. They waited a month to see how it played out. They didn't overreact. I think it's okay, and I don't think we should be upset about it. Also, important to know, I just cut back to myself, I'm not a GOAT player. I don't necessarily have skin in this game. I play GOAT in Diamond Quest sometimes. I am not an online GOAT player. Just wanted to make that clear. And that's the 10-minute mailbag, ladies and gentlemen. Both feet now firmly planted on this ground, so I do not helicopter like I did in the intro. But hey, we have fun here, so thank you guys. Love you guys. Keep asking your questions. Join the Discord. Support me if you can, if you'd like to, and try some W Energy. kdjTV for a discount. Love you guys. See you next time.